Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. There are two quick questions we have from the last class. It was briefly mentioned the previous class that Shiva is Purusha and Shakti is Prakriti. Please explain this a little more. Yeah, in the description of Shiva and Shakti, Parvati, we refer these two as the concept we have in Vedanta as Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha is the consciousness. Prakriti is the matter. So Shiva is taken to represent Purusha Tattva, and Parvati, Shakti, is taken to be this Prakriti, matter. That's what Shankara calls this Shariram Tvam. He says. He's referring to Shivananda Lagari, I think. There, he says, you are the body of Shambhu, he says. Shambhu is the spirit. Shakti is the body, Prakriti, matter. And all that is associated with matter. So the whole world is nothing but Purusha plus Prakriti. And we take this Purusha Prakriti to be two different things. There are two different entities. Like, father, mother. These are two. Those two we recognize. Father to be the one who bestows jnanam and discipline. Mother is the one who is supposed to be giving you compassion and protection. Now these two principles together taken and represented in the form of Ardhanarishwara, half Shiva and half Parvati, half Shakti. They are not two different things. To remove that misunderstanding, Purusha is different, Prakriti is different. We take it like that. Here we say no, they are not two different. They are together. They are one and the same. It is like you can't remove heat from fire, isn't it? They come together. The heat element, the heat component, the heat part of the fire is Shiva. Shakti is what you see visibly. The red flame, the flame that you see is Shakti, Prakriti. Just a representation, that's about it. There's no direct reference or anything. It is just for us to understand those two ideas. Those two things together forms this. So that's why we have this, Prakriti is Shakti, we say. And it's very interesting how they represent them also. They are same, one and the same, to say that in one angle we say Shiva is this, Shakti is this. Another angle is Shakti literally means energy. Right? Shakti means strength, power, energy. One way. That energy cannot stand without a loco stand, isn't it? Cannot exist. So, what gives the foundation for Shakti to exist, for that energy to exist, is Shiva. So, there suddenly it becomes two different things. Now, Shiva will become matter, Shakti will become energy. So, if you take Shakti to be energy, then Shiva becomes the matter. Right? On the other side, we say Shakti is matter actually. Because what is the job of Shiva? Job for portfolio of Shiva is destruction. To destroy, the power of destruction needs matter to destroy. No, there's no possibility of the power of destruction without a matter, isn't it? That's why you see the Chinese martial arts movies. One punch the fellow gives, the furnitures and all break so fast. I was thinking those martial arts must be really strong. Recently only I learned, made in China. That's why it breaks. I thought they are very strong fellows. Whether you are strong or weak, we'll know what is your strength only when you attempt to break a, you know, doesn't matter whether it is made from China or it is made from, Spain. Doesn't make any difference. But it needs to have that matter to destroy. If there is no matter to destroy, there is no job for him. You see, so Shiva is, strictly speaking, we don't call it as Shiva. We call it as Shivam. It's not Shiva. Shiva means it looks like masculine, male. Shivam is principle. That, Shivam is what, the Shiva Siddhantists, those who follow Shiva, those people will refer. They will never refer it as Shiva. They may say, in a loose way, but strictly speaking, it's not treated as that. Then what is that Shivam? Shivam is Arupa. There is no Swarupa for it. There is no Rupa. There is no form. That formless reality, what in Vedanta we call as Nirguna Brahman, is what is referred here as Brahman. Brahman has no form. Similarly, Shivam has no form, which is inconceivable, which you cannot connect to, which you cannot relate to. Since that inconceivable form needs to have a little compassion to come down to the level of conception. It should come down a bit so that we can see. Otherwise, we can't see. We can't relate. So to come down, it needs what? When it comes down, it mixes with one more aspect that is called Prakriti. Because what we can connect to is only Prakriti. We cannot connect to the Purusha. Purusha, even though we say Purusha is your real nature and all those things, but as far as the student is concerned, a layman is concerned, he cannot understand that he is Purusha actually. So that Purusha Tattva has to come down to our level. When it comes down, that Shivam becomes Shiva. You see? And then how that once that Shiva comes into picture, immediately Shakti comes along with that. Because even to come down, he needs that power, he needs that Shakti. What is that Shakti? That is what we refer as Maya Shakti. We call it as Prakriti, Maya, all that. So he weds that. So that's why all these Trinity gods were all wedded. Brahma wedded to Saraswati. Vishnu wedded to Mahalakshmi. Shiva wedded to Shakti. And people may know one thing, Vishnu and Shakti to be brother sister. You may not know the other part. Very interestingly, they say Saraswati is a sister of Shiva, and Mahalakshmi is the sister of Brahma, and Shakti is a sister of Vishnu. How? Then they say, you see their qualities, their descriptions, and all those things. Like if you go to the Shiva temple, right? This Parivara Devatas will be there around that Sanctum Sanctorum. Inside, if you go, there'll be, Brahma will be there, Ganesha is there, this one is there, not outside. I'm saying inside. Inside, if you go, they will all be there around Shiva. One side you will find always, who are facing the south, is Dakshinamurti. Right? Right opposite to Dakshinamurti, this side if you see, if you are facing that, Shiva Sanctum Sanctorum, to your right, you will find the Dakshinamurti facing south. And to your left, you will see Durga. Right? Very interesting to see this. Dakshinamurti will be sitting alone. There is no concert for him. Right? Same way, you come this side in the temple, Durga, you go, Durga also seated there without anyone, alone. This side, the Dakshinamurti alone, that side, Durga alone. Dakshinamurti is what? Shiva. Durga is who? Shakti, Parvati. Right? And you see the description, you closely observe the Dakshinamurti. Dakshinamurti, Shiva is white, pearl white. Right? Maybe anemic, you say. That's what in South and all people will call. If you're really fair and all, it's anemic, the fellow. Give him more food, there. Same way, you see Saraswati, she is also pearl white. And Dakshinamurti, who is alone, right? He is seated with the palm leaves in one hand and Japamala in the other hand. Only God. Same thing is what Saraswati also has. You see, there is a link they make. No, don't take it as, brother, sister, immediately like you people understand brother, sisters. Okay. Then you will be totally lost. You can't understand. There is a connection. This is all, it is so interesting how they wave the things around so that it is so interesting for us to relate to God. That's all. See, essentially, religion's job is what? The business of religion is nothing to do with the social things. It's got nothing to do with social. Using every aspect of life to connect to God, take you to God. So you should feel God is also so close to you. You see, that is why no other culture had twisted and squeezed God like what these people have done. No other culture has done that. Either they will keep God so far, so big, so great, you can't connect to them at all. Right? Father in heaven, that's it. Maximum you can connect to is only Christ, full stop. Holy Ghost, you can't connect to. Father in heaven, you can't connect to. Forget it. Those two are unconnected. And they send one fellow to you, and what you do to him? Hang that fellow, put him in cross and hang him. There, that's all. Now, here, these people do to God Himself so many things because they feel so close to Him. They feel so relatable. That is the beauty here. That is why all these intricate things. Also, it gives us a lot of insight into recognizing certain things. That's this science or the art of symbolism. That's all. Symbolism study is only for what? All this rituals, all this, temples and things, whatever we have, gods, all this is to take you to connect to God easily, for which we have to bring God as close as possible to all of us. So what do we do is this. That's why stories and things are all fascinating to see. Same way, you see the description of Vishnu, Mahavishnu, if you see, he has Gata and Chakra. Right? And what is the Vahana for her? Simha. Right? Tirupati you go, what is a Vahana there for him? Not Garuda there. Simha there. Suddenly we get confused. Something wrong there, no? We'll say. Yes. And what is he holding? Chakra and Gata. Same thing is what this Durga also holding here. She also holds the same thing. He is also holding the same thing. And Mahalakshmi, you go, her description is the same. Because the color of Brahma is golden yellow. Is the same color for Lakshmi. Lakshmi standard color, golden yellow. Saraswati standard color, pure white, pearl white. Only problem we have is for Shakti. Shakti, sometimes she will appear as white. Sometimes she will appear as black. Sometimes she will appear as red. Sometimes she will appear as green. No standard color for her. She will keep changing depending upon the situation. Variations. That's what Prakriti is. That is why you say Parvati represents Prakriti like that. Because that has varied colors. Similarly, she also doesn't have standard color. When she comes as Durga, she has one color. She comes as Kali, she has another color. When she takes the form of Shakti, she has another color. She takes the form of Uma, she has another color. Each form, different colors. But Mahalakshmi, standard color. Saraswati, standard color. Only one color for them. There's no difference. That's why this Prakriti comes, is equated to Shakti, and Purusha, which is a fixed factor. That is what now we can include a little. You can stretch it a bit to science also. When we discuss here, you say every atom has a positive and negative, right? The positive charged stays, negative charged keeps moving around, isn't it? Positive charge stays one. This is what we referred as the Nataraja pose. The left leg is raised, the right leg is fixed. Right leg belongs to Shiva in Ardhanarishwara. If you take right side is Shiva, left side is Parvati. So which leg is moving? That moving leg is the left leg. Right leg is fixed. For the left leg to move, the right leg needs to be fixed. Only then it can move. Otherwise, it cannot move. You see? So this idea of Shiva taken as Prakriti, Shiva taken as Purusha and Shakti taken as Prakriti equates to so many things. The lady of the house is the one who does all the work. From where she derives that strength to do all the work is that inert fellow sitting there. Right? He's simply sitting there. He's just there in the house. That's all. In his presence, she will do all the work. But work is always done by whom? I mean, in terms of house, I'm saying, in the context of house, if you take there, who does maximum work? Even in United States, 85% of household works are done by women only there, not men. I don't think only in India people are like that. In US, it's not like that. There also it's the same thing. Wherever you go, law will not change. If it changes, means it will look very absurd. If it goes ulta, in fact, just thinking, ulta, when I say, I've just flashed. I don't know. You may know Ramayana. You would have heard Ramayana. You would have read Ramayana as, Valmiki Ramayana or the Skamba Ramayana or Tulsi Ramayana, those Ramayanas. There is a version of Ramayana which you may not have heard at all actually. I don't know how many of you have known this Ramayana story. I think it is Durvasa Ramayana or Adbhuta Ramayana. There is something like that. There is one. Which one I'm mixing up? There are so many Ramayanas are there. In one of the versions of Ramayana, Rama is Shakti. Shiva came in the form of Sita. There is a version of Ramayana. That is why Ravana, who is a great devotee of Shiva, got to know that. Because Ravana, I hope you all know this story, you must be knowing. Ravana was a great devotee of Shiva. He went to Himalayas and he wanted to take that entire Kailash and take it to Lanka. Take the whole house. Why, shifting Shiva is not possible. So he called Shiva, why don't you come there, man? I built a palace there. Golden palace I built, come there. This fellow says, nothing doing, man. I'm happy in this place. He said, if you are happy in this place, lift it and put it there. Problem solved. When he lifted that, Parvati got scared. Shakti, she got scared, because suddenly the whole thing is, earthquake. She hugged to Shiva. He said, hey, do something, man. And Shiva understood what's happening. So he pressed with his toe. Right. That's it. And this Ravana's hands got stuck in the Kailash. And somehow he pleaded to Shiva. He said, okay, chalo, leave and go. So he left. But he had that desire. So he got to know. What he got to know? It is actually now Rama, Sita is who now? Parvati and Shiva, the one who had come in this form. So what I should do now? Last time I made a mistake. What is the mistake I did last time? I attempted to take Shiva with me when Parvati was around. Now I'm not going to repeat that same mistake. He is a very good learner, very, very learned fellow. He will not repeat the same mistake second time. So this time he separated Shakti from Shiva. That's how Rama was taken away from Sita. And Sita was alone. Who is Sita now? Remember, that is Shiva actually. Right? So he took Sita and planted him in Ashokavana there. Planted Sita in Ashokavana. And there is a text, there is a conversation. Actually is there. This Sita Ravana Samvada, something. Very, very interesting conversation. When you read it, in one way, it would look like a man who is lusty pleading with his women. It will be looking very, very, sensual. Same thing you read with a different sandhi. Instead of arranging it like this, you just rearrange it. The whole thing would look like a great worship of a devotee. Same words. Just a rearrangement. Like most of you would have known this, no? This, a man wrote, there is no God. Nowhere. No here. Split that. Nowhere. Now here. Just a space you give, like that, This one, text is there. They take inspiration like this, actually. Now, what is the proof? And then, Hanuman goes to search for Sita. When that's how they take a clue from, they take this Pramana. This Ramayana is authentic, they say. Because the authenticity for this, all those Ramayanas refer to Valmiki Ramayana as the authentic one. So the Pramana for them is when Hanuman goes to Lanka, the moment Ravana sees Hanuman, first question he asks Hanuman is this. Kon Bhagavan Nandi? He says. Are you Nandi from Kailash, who has come searching for Shiva now? Because wherever Shiva is, there will be Nandi. You would have seen, that bull. Nandi is the one you would have seen. Is the Vahana for Shiva. Shiva goes around on bull. Now that's what he is asking. Kimesha, are you Nandi? He asks. Why, from where suddenly Valmiki plants this thought of Nandi in the mind of Ravana? Why is he asking about Nandi now? Same way, Sita also refers it. From Valmiki Ramayana itself, these people take clues. to show it is actually not, Vishnu and Mahalakshmi had come as Rama and Sita. It is actually Shiva and Parvati had come as Rama and Sita. Only difference is they changed their thing because they felt, so boring. We also do, sometimes, like that. They said, you come as a man, I'll go as a woman. What, only you should be always, is it? Why only men should do the job? Women also can do the job. Shiva said, okay, I'll do cooking in the house. You go and take a job. There are people do that, no? Like that. The same thing was done. But then Rama got so involved, Parvati got so involved in the role of Rama, she forgot. So Sita had to remind him, this is what you are doing. Say, behave yourself. Don't behave like a lady. Behave like a man. He said, correct. When this comes is another scene they take to refer. When Rama was, told to go to forest, he decides to go alone. Why take Sita and all that, unnecessary trouble for her, You stay here, I'll go and come. Don't worry. 14 years, I'll come back. I'll just go. We just go around for one tour. I'll finish and come. Don't worry. Sita says, you stupid fellow. Right, you stupid woman, to Rama. The purpose of we coming here is to teach a lesson to Ravana. Why they wanted to kill Ravana was he made a blunder. Why they changed this? This Ravana wanted to worship Shiva alone, minus Parvati. Shiva is the best. Parvati is waste. Shakti I don't want. I want only Shiva. So he attempted to take Shiva alone. That is why they came separately. Now she says, I want to teach him a lesson. So they come in the form of Rama, and Shiva says, okay, I will also come. Yeah, don't come as my friend and all those things. You should be the reason to teach a lesson to him. How? Therefore, Shiva came in the form of Sita. So he will abduct her to facilitate Ravana to abduct Sita. They should give no. That is why the whole drama is. That's why they are supposed to go. Now suddenly this Rama forgot the original script. He started talking. There, Sita has to remind, Rama. Shiva has to remind Shakti, no, hey, did you forget what you came for? He says, don't behave like a lady. Because my father, when he, got me married to you, Janaka, he didn't understand that you're actually women in the form of a man. She says that. It's there in Valmiki Ramayana. She says, wife is telling husband like that. How do you justify it? And these people give this justification. They say only in this interpretation you have a proper justification to it. What is it? It is actually truth. What is the truth? Sita is not lying. She's speaking the truth. What is the truth? It is Parvati who has come in the form of Rama, who is a male. A female in the form of a male. Correct. The moment she referred that, or Shiva referred it, Parvati realized internally, yes, I forgot. Okay, let's go. This is how they, now, nowhere you will find this sort of, twisting and turning gods like this. It's easy to put him in cross. Problem solved. Whereas these fellows, they twist and turn people like, this. And why they want to punish Ravana? Actually, it's not a punishment, it's a teaching. when these gods come, they are giving you liberation. What is a liberation? Do not worship only Prakriti, Purusha. You should worship Prakriti, Purusha together. You can never connect to Purusha directly. Impossible. You cannot relate to it. The blunder, the mistake of Ravana. So therefore, entire Ramayana there is not Ramayana of it's a very different interpretation there. The whole Ramayana is very different. This Purusha Prakriti, it's a fascinating idea of Ardhanarishwara. So much is there in that material, viewed from various angles. You should not do it. Just to tell this one idea. What is that idea? You should not worship, don't attempt to worship Purusha, Shiva alone. That's all. For that entire Ramayana. Now it looks whole story only for this one liner. And most of us think, we understand that line. That's the best part of it. Today, when I say that statement, when I make that statement, do not worship this should be told to people who attempt to worship. Like I keep saying, this Kena Upanishad, master is telling the student there, Tadeva Brahmatvam Vidhi, Nedam Yadidam Upasade. That alone is Brahman, not what you are worshipping. And he says, has a tremendous meaning to that student. Today, you listen to that and you read the translation of that, and you also go on saying what? God is not in the temple. What you are seeing in the temple is not God. Who says that? Kena Upanishad says that. Kena Upanishad says that to a person who sees God in the temple. Are you seeing God in the temple? If you were to be seeing God in the temple, your behavior itself will change completely. Imagine that you understand that is God who is there. It is actually Shiva, this is actually God who is inside the Sanctum Sanctorum, and he is seeing you. Tirupati Balaji is seeing you actually. Asking, what? Says, how will you live your life? How will you go and stand there in front of him? But you will read that Kena Upanishadic statement and you will also repeat, yeah, correct. God is not here. God is everywhere. Safe for you. Why? You don't have to put an effort to see God there, you see. This is what we call as Vakra Buddhi. This is what is referred as Vakra Buddhi. Bent intellect. Not Buddhi at all actually. Twisting and turning. That's called Vakram. You twist and turn it to your convenience. And it's amazing to see people. It's a blunder we make to connect to God minus the world, minus Prakriti. You cannot do that. You have to see, you have to reach to God through Prakriti, with the help of Prakriti, along with Prakriti only. Ravana made a blunder of what? I will want only Shiva. I will take Shiva. That's enough for me. I don't need this. You delete this and attempt to go there, you are finished. And that is what you see here. This forms, this gods, this goddess, the stories. Now every story that's spun around these gods has a very, very deep significance there, a deep meaning. You see, this Purusha Prakriti is referring to Shiva Shakti is reminded of this Ramayana. Very different story, not known to us. Second question, Who is Ishvara? You are looking at. I don't know. Yaar sir? You're asking who is Ishvara? Don't you see that Sri Ishwaran there? Who's Ishvara? Some say Ishvara is Shiva. Oh, okay, that sense is. I'm sorry. I read it very quickly. Some say Ishvara is Maya. Some say Ishvara is Saguna Brahman. Some say Ishvara is just a Sanskrit term for the word God. Please explain. We say not any one of them. All of them are correct and all of them are wrong. It's like you have seen, that poetry, Elephant. The six blind men went to see that elephant. Each one was saying one thing. This elephant is like a spear, elephant is like a rope, elephant is like a wall, elephant is like a pillar. All correct. What correct? The tusk of that elephant is like a spear. Correct. The tail of that elephant is like a rope. Correct. But you can never make an elephant by combining all that together. You put one tusk, you put one spear plus rope plus wall plus pillar is equal to elephant. No. But that particular aspect they are correct. That's what the poet says. So each one is partly correct, but totally wrong. Now, each sampradaya, each tradition, each system uses this word Ishvara to refer to different things. In one system, Ishvara is referred to Saguna Brahman, correct? Right. Like I was saying, Shiva and Shivam. That there are two different things we say. No, same thing here. This Ishvara is taken to refer with reference to this. Similarly, Ishvara is taken to cosmic deep sleeper. Like we have this individual goes through waking, dream, deep sleeper. There is a waker, there is a dreamer, there is a deep sleeper. Right? Ishva, Taijasa, Prajna. You say there are three personalities you assume: waker, dreamer, deep sleeper. Similarly, this cosmic, macrocosmic also, there are three states: waking, dream, deep sleep. That cosmic deep sleeper is what is referred as Ishvara. Cosmic dreamer is referred as Hiranyagarbha. So like that. So this idea of Ishvara is Saguna Brahma. In that context they use. In another context they refer to ignorance, total ignorance. Cosmic deep sleeper means cosmic ignorance, total ignorance. That is also used there. Some of them use the word Ishvara just to refer to Lord. Literal meaning of the word Ishvara means Lord. Is also used. In different contexts, different meanings were given to that particular same word, as different meanings in different contexts. So that's all it is. It's not that, who is that now, you don't know. But those who are following this Shiva, you will not go to this, Tirupati and say Ishvara. You will not say that. There you go and say Govinda. Correct. So that's all. Because that is a name for that particular deity. That is also another one. One of the names for Shiva is also Ishvara. Is there. And there is another one. Ishvara is not a name, Ishvara is a title. It's not a name actually. Like Vyasa, Sir, Sir Don Bradman, Sir Lawrence Olivier. You say that Sir is not a name. It is a title. Same way, Ishvara is not a name. It is a title. What is that title, sir? Lordship. That lordship over everything. Over what? Lordship over, go back to the previous one, Prakriti. Lordship over Prakriti. He is the ruler, he is the controller of that Prakriti. How he controls? By sheer presence he controls. He doesn't control like, behave yourself properly. Not in that sense. In his presence, Prakriti works automatic, perfectly. So that is the Lord. Ishvara means that. If Nandi came in form of Hanuman, it would have been more devoted to Shiva. But in Ramayana, he is devoted to Rama. Any clarification is Parvati. Yeah, see, you see Rama, Hanuman in the form of the all aspects of Hanuman. If you take, your doubt is very genuine only. Then he should be running behind Sita only, no. But what is Hanuman? The moment you say Hanuman, you understand what? Brahmachari. Right? Imagine if in that story, Brahmachari running behind Sita all the time. As it is, you people have perversion. You people, in the sense, I'm not referring to you people. I say, everything you see pervertedly, the whole thing is the ulta now. On top of that, if they were to be behaving like that also, then what will happen to these worldly people? And they have taken these roles to play to that particular drama. In that drama, what is he supposed to do? That's all. This is drama from whose angle? This is all drama from the angle of these people, not for Ravana. For as far as Ravana is concerned, it is not drama. It is a clear prescripted drama from the aspect of Shiva, Parvati, Nandi, and others, all the devas, all those fellows. They are supposed to do it, right? But in that, if he has to come in the form of this and keeps moving around, right? And just now I said this, the very purpose for them to be coming and telling Ravana itself is what? What is the teaching they wanted to give to Ravana? Don't see Shiva and Parvati as two different things. They are one and the same. You can't see them separately. Your attempt of seeing them, worshipping them, wanting to split them into two different compartments is a mistake. To educate him on that, through educating Ravana, educating all of us is their job. And if Hanuman were to be again doing the same thing, then we will say what? He is committing the same sin that was committed by Ravana, no? I may be stretching a bit. You're all with me. According to that Ramayana, don't take Ramayana from our Valmiki side. Okay? View this Ramayana only from this side, as though it is a prescripted one. I still not remember exactly which Ramayana was that. Very interesting. There are a few Ramayanas which are amazing. It is totally different from what we have ever, thought of Ramayana. Suddenly, whole Ramayana will look very different when you read that. You know, so he says this one is correct. Then Hanuman should be moving around with Shiva, if it is Nandi. And there is one peculiar tradition you will find in this Shiva temple alone. And in fact, most of the temples, but in Shiva temple, it is very, very particular. They're very strict about it. You'll find every Shiva temple that whether it is that Shiva Linga will be there. Outside, you will have this Nandi. You see, looking at Shiva, straight, he will be facing Shiva. You are not allowed to cross that, cut across. If you cut across, they will scold you. Yeah, don't come round. Don't go in between. Why? Why they say that? As a teaching, it is so simple. Don't cut across. Don't cut this connection. You are cutting across Nandi. And don't immediately say there is energy field, this field, that field. Now, madness. Okay. Don't get into all this stupid idea. I don't know why these days, everywhere people get into this idea. Anything you refer, immediately you have to connect it to body. Please understand, religion has got nothing to do with body. Anywhere you hear a person talking about body and bodily things, straight away you can take it as it has got nothing to do with religion, nothing to do with spirituality. It may be to do with medical, it may be to do with social. That is possible. But one thing for sure, that's not spiritual. But nowadays I see this. For anything and everything, they say immediately, these people are like that. Women are not supposed to do, Vedic chanting. You know why? Because it will affect their body. There are 1,001 things you are all eating and you are all doing things which are affecting the body. So what? Let them do this also get affected. No, big deal. They'll learn. It's worth. Is that the reason? Yeah. And people think, as though it's a great reasoning, it affects their body. Let it be, yeah. Huh? So many things are affecting. Mobile phone affects your brain. You're still using, no? Why? Worth it, man. Correct? Eating this, eating that is affecting your kidney, this is affecting your liver, this is affecting this, affecting that, all those things. Let also this also get affected. So what? Is that the reason? Remember, these people, anywhere you hear interpretations connecting to body, straight away I say that's wrong, no matter who says that. No matter what is the evidences that you give, that these people did not fix it for this reason. All this is incidental. See, there is one Mukhya Pala and Avantara Pala. Remember this. Everything that you do in life has two effects. One is the main, another one is incidental. Like, you go to Tirupati to have the darshan of Venkatachalapati, Balaji. Incidentally, you will buy what? Laddu also. Mukhya Pala is having the darshan of the Lord. Incidental is you buy that vada, you buy that laddu, you have that prasadam there. That curd rice they give you, or this dodenam they give, They give outside when you come. Puliogarai they give. You eat that also. That is incidental. You don't go to Tirupati for this purpose. Imagine if someone were to come and tell you, why I went to Tirupati? You'll say, what? Are you mad? You can book it sitting here. Malaysian, you go, you will get laddu. Same laddu. Why do you have to drive all the way from here and you go up, go in that, twist and turn, and, and twice you have to stop, you have to vomit. Why? Because I get giddiness. Or else people go by walk, climb the steps, go there and wait for 5.5 hours. After that, you go and then you have to come out and then you go and stand in the queue, give the ticket, you will give two laddus. To take the two laddus, will you go to Tirupati? If you are interested only in laddu, send your servant. He will go. He'll be happy also, being away from you. That's all. 2 days he is free of your, bugging. He will get you. Is this the reason? Avantara pala. Incidentally, certain benefits you may get. Incidentally, there may be some problems. But that's not the main one. Remember. Similarly, when you are reading these things, when you are interpreting it, be careful. The Shiva temple, when you go, I don't know, Shiva is not leaving me. I don't know which class is still going on. Still, there are so many things. That is what I'm worried actually. Still, I have not covered so many points about Shiva. This Nandi is just a representation. Remember, this Nandi is the Vahana on which Shiva rides. He moves about. Wherever he goes, if Shiva has to come, he has to come on Nandi only. He will not come to us directly. He will not come down on his own. If Shiva to be treated as Brahman, God, then Nandi on which he rides over is referred to Dharma. Like in the four Purusharthas, we have no Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. If Shiva Pada is to be treated as Moksha, that Moksha Pada rides on what? It thrives on what? It thrives on Dharma. By cutting across Dharma, if you are attempting to reach to Shiva, and that is why, the portfolio, the job portfolio of Nandi in Kailash. This man is supposed to be standing there with a stick, golden stick. He's holding a golden stick. And people come there. No, he's standing there like a watchman, hitting everyone to stand in queue properly. Unless he approves, you can't enter inside. These Dwarabalakas of Vishnu is not like that. They don't stand and whip people. They are simply standing there. That's all. This, that Vaikunta, when you go, they all there also they have attendants. Two attendants are there, gatekeepers. But they are not having that power. But Nandi has an extra power. What is that extra power? Without his permission, you can't enter inside. What is the meaning of that? They say what you need to recognize is Nandi is not just an animal, bull there. Remember, just a representation. Why Nandi was given that power, that position, that exalted position is because Nandi, bull, works, survives, lives on a fundamental principle, which is totally different from our idea of life. That is called Dharma. Dharma of life is what? Maximum work, minimum profit. In fact, no profit. Be a contributor, not a consumer. Our idea of life is what? Consumer only. Contribution, don't ask. How to avoid tax is all our thinking is. All the time thinking is what? How to avoid tax. how to avoid tax. This tax will, sir, I don't want, why? Capital gain tax will come. Right? When you are gaining something in capital, you have to pay, no? Hmm? And then you blame, yeah, how can they put the road? Why can they have this one? Why can they have this one, that one? This is not proper, that is not proper. Why this is not happening? Why that is not happening? Obviously, why? In the country of 131, someone was telling me, only 2% pay tax. Tax pays itself is only 2% in this country. I was shocked. I thought they missed one zero, actually. I thought the person is telling a lie. I wish it is a lie, you know. But unfortunately, this is a fact. 2% of people only pay tax. Then what about the rest of them? Hmm? We all want, don't ask me to pay tax. You become a senior citizen, you say, I don't want to pay tax. You're a child, you say, I don't want to pay tax. When you start earning, you say, I don't want to pay tax. When you get elder also, you don't want to pay tax. Then when are you going to pay tax then? Consume, consume, consume. No contribution. Whereas bull works on the principle of slogging in the field, slogging in the field, slogging in the field. But it doesn't extract, it doesn't use anything of the produce. The entire produce is taken by the man. This fellow takes the whole thing. But the bull also has slogged on the field as good as this guy. Physical labor. Now, what do you get for that? What do you give for that? It's the principle. Don't take it literally, please. Now, our fellows have started worshipping bull everywhere. Forgot the principle. Bull, which is Nandi, is a representation. A representation of what? Dharma. What is Dharma, sir? Dharma is a principle. What is a principle? Be a contributor. When you enter your house, are you adding value to the house or you are expecting everyone to give you things? You want to give happiness to people or you want others to give happiness to you? Where is your focus? I want to give joy or they are there to give joy to me? Am I to take care of them or they to take care of me? Every facet you go, whether it is your house, your society, your company, your relatives, your friends, wherever you go, where is your focus? Cutting across this principle, you can never reach to Shiva. You can never reach to God. Therefore, in a temple, in a simple language, they say, don't go across. That's all it is. You know, imagine if the practice is not there. This is what I tell people. Even if you don't understand, doesn't matter. Just follow the practices. Everyone says, sir, we should understand. No, I said you will understand at the age of 70. You can't wait for all the practices to be known by you and then you are going to do it. You will never do it. It is better to do. Imagine 2 generations back, they thought like all of us and decided, see, unless we understand, we are not going to follow. By now, we would have missed this practice of cutting across. If that practice or that stupid instruction or the superstitious thing of saying, don't go across, today, we wouldn't be able to decode what is the meaning behind it. You see, impossible. That's why we say those who are upholding the tradition, even without knowing it, doesn't matter. You may understand, you may not understand. 99% of it you will not understand. I say it doesn't matter. You see, blindly follow it. Your great grandson will wake up and understand what's the meaning behind it. By your ignorance, if you stop, they will miss the entire opportunity of understanding what is it. And you will think what? If a child goes, he will look at that Nandi there in the temple as what? That's why we have, and this, we have that as the symbol here, the state symbol we have. Karnataka, Nandi. Biggest temple for Nandi we have in Bangalore, in the world. And what are we doing here? Why? We had big one. Say they gave so much of importance to Nandi than to Shiva. You have to please Nandi. That's how they kept it. They say, unless Nandi gives a signature, you can't get an entry. So what you have to do, sir, appease Nandi. Now it will look like what for you? Hey, no, he's worse than our, that Davali in the court, catch hold of that fellow or the secretary. You want an appointment from the MD, what do you have to do? Secretary. Or at least a car driver. I tell people, don't go to a secretary, go to the car driver. Because by default, this fellow will be sitting next to him for minimum 45 minutes. With the secretary, that fellow will not be sitting for 45 minutes. But with the driver, he will be sitting for 45 minutes. Be good to the driver. You can get the job done. We think we are also behaving like that with Nandi. Now, Nandi is not just a man, please. It's not just a personality. It's a personification. Personification of what? Personification of dharma. Unless you appease dharma, moksha is not a possibility for your life. Forget it. And what he will do, it will whip you. By somehow you sneak into that Shiva Loka, Kailash, Shiva will throw his Trishul. Whipping is better. Nandi whipping is better. That Nandi will whip you. Dharma will whip you. That whipping of Dharma is what Nandi is all about. Nandi is a representation of Dharma. Right, Nandi, very interesting one. Nandi relation to Hanuman. It came in the form of Hanuman. It should have been more devoted to Shiva. It won't look nice. One, from the story perspective, from the principle perspective, it will defeat the very purpose for which they have enacted the drama. What is the purpose of the drama? To teach Ravana that you can't see them as two different things. They are not two, they are one and the same. This is the teaching they wanted to give. And Nandi himself goes and starts behaving like this, means it is defeating the very purpose. Therefore, what they have to do? Other way around. When he is in the form of Nandi, he will go along with Shiva. When he is in the form of Hanuman, he will go along with Parvati. Huh? Looks, suddenly we get confused. Huh? No. Doesn't matter. If Nandi and Hanuman are one and the same, what is the same things there? Both are having tail. Another connection. Hanuman also has a tail, Nandi also has a tail. Otherwise, what is the connection? There is no connection between the two. Only one point is connectable. Rest are all, immaterial. Same way here. This form is not to be taken. Remember, it's the principle. And it's a very interesting practice. And I said, Nandi, I was reminded of that. This, peculiar practice. They say, and during Pradosha time, the Abhisheka is not done for Shiva. Abhisheka is done for Nandi only. And you are supposed to have the darshan of Shiva between the, horns of Nandi. You have to see Shiva, you go to this temple, Orthodox people, they will look at Shiva Linga through that. through the horns of Nandi. What are the horns there? What is that? There. Through dharma only you can reach to moksha. So never drop that. Never cut across. Never, throw away ethics, values, morality. This God travels on moral principles only. You will find him only through moral principles. He comes down to us through that form. So therefore, he is as good as this. So dharma is as good. Not morals in the sense, not like what we understand morality. I'm saying dharma. What is dharma, sir? Only one principle, dharma. That's why he has given the form of a bull. Could have been given any other form, but they gave this form of a bull to him. Why? On the principle of maximum work, minimum profit. That is dharma. Meaning, wherever you go, you think in terms of in what way I can be of a value addition, contribute. Whether it is a house or anywhere you go. Right. See you in the next class.